All right. Hello, my lovely, beautiful souls. I am so happy, very excited to actually be kickstarting this new series today called Soul Alchemy, Messages from the Elements. And we're going to start off with the element of fire. Fire. Do, 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 do. Fire. You guys know me. Okay, so we're going to be doing 3 different piles here, but what the energies my spirit guides also told me to do specifically was to do not even a guided meditation, because they're only maybe a couple minutes long each, but we're going to be doing a guided visualization with each element. So that's going to be time stamped in the description box below. But this first guided visualization, I said that weird, this first guided visualization is going to involve Ascended Master Saint Germain, who is in charge of the violet flame, Egyptian goddess Sekhmet, as well as the Arcturian Starseed Collective. So each guided visualization will have ascended masters and gods and goddesses paired with a starseed energy. And so that's going to be a lot of strong energy, where when you do that along with your reading, it's going to provide a lot of growth, and it'll supercharge your growth to be able to help you in whatever stage of spiritual growth or life you're in right now. It's going to be super powerful to be able to do those in tandem, if you will. So that's going to be in the description below. Be there or be square. Get it? Because triangle is a fire. And I think it's so synchronistic too. All of the crystals that I chose today, they each actually form a triangle. So very on theme, very on point, on brand here. But fire is pretty much super interesting for me, because I was kind of doing a little bit of thinking about that, and my spirit guides were helping me to see that it's used a lot in sterilizing tools and weapons from ancient civilizations. It's used to be able to provide light and a way to see during the nighttime. It's used for warmth. It's used as a place of gathering for people to gather in community. Fire is also known as the fire of consciousness, right? We also have heart fire that's talked about, as well as the breath of fire in Kundalini yoga. And fire is actually the only element that is created, right? So it's created through earth, air, and friction. So it actually needs also the earth element to be able to survive, if you think about it, right? It needs some sort of wood or some element of material from the earth to be able to keep burning. So it's a very sacred relationship that fire forms with other elements. And we'll dive into that as we get further and further along into other elements like earth and air. But I wanted to start off with this element specifically because we need a little bit more of this magic, this elemental magic in all of our lives. And I thought, why not? Let's do it. So this first pile is going to be this red stone here, red crystal with this line through it. Pile number 1. Pile number 2 is going to be this beautiful dragon stone here. It's like this moss green stone with this like wine dark red colored spot right there. Right, and that is for pile number 2. And then pile number 3 is going to be this beautiful hematite here. Very good for grounding. Okay. So go ahead and get in the zone as always, my friends. Do remember, these are general readings. So as always, do the shopping cart method. Take what resonates, leave behind what does not. And if you're drawn to more than one pile, use your intuition. It never steers you wrong. But always remember to just, take what you feel, what feels right and what doesn't. I said it out of order this time. I'm so good with my intros. I do it like correctly every time. This time it's like out of order, and so I messed myself up. You guys get what I mean. Anyway, without further ado, love you guys so much. Can't wait to see you in your piles. Go ahead and close your eyes and breathe in slowly on 1, 2, and 3. Then breathe out just as slowly on 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, notice your surroundings. You see bright white, glimmering light all around you, and rainbow prisms bouncing off of each other. You are surrounded by beautiful color. You feel light, as if you could float away. There is no denseness here. There is no heaviness. There is only light, beauty, color. You hear the most beautiful sounds you've ever heard in your life. Layers of voices, harmonies, of choruses echo and fill the spaces. You feel complete here. You feel whole here. And as you're reveling in this feeling, you look ahead and you notice a bright, gleaming temple made completely of crystal. And it can look any way you want, be made out of any crystals you want. And in front of the entrance of the temple, you notice steps, also made of crystal. And as you walk forward, really picture and visualize your foot on each step as you make your way up. As you go to the first step, then the second, then the third, and finally the fourth. And as you make your way to the Crystal Temple's entrance, you look in and you're greeted by Ascended Master Saint Germain. And he gives you the warmest, the brightest smile. He is so happy that you're here. And next you see Egyptian goddess Sekhmet. And she looks at you with eyes full of so much love and so much warmth that you know you are safe here. And they are here to help you. You also feel the Arcturian starseeds present in this temple as well. You feel their collective with such healing and peaceful energy that they bring from the higher realms, from the higher dimensions. And you notice that in the middle of the room there is a triangle of bright violet fire. And at each corner of the triangle stands your helpers, Sekhmet, Saint Germain, and the Arcturian Starseed Collective. And intuitively, you know to step forward. And you walk straight through the violet flames. Surprised, you have no fear because you know that this fire cannot harm you. And you know this fire is not dangerous. It only cleanses spirits who are willing. And as you step into the center of the triangle, you feel energy beams from each spirit, each being, going straight into your crystalline light body, your auric field, until you are illuminated a trio of lights hitting you from each point of the triangle where they stand, with you in the center. And you look down and you see bright, vibrant, beautiful, purple energy all along your body. You see it shimmering and gleaming like bright jewels in sunshine. Very shimmery looking, almost like little mirages all over your body. This bright, brilliant purple energy wrapping you up like a warm blanket. And you know that this violet energy, this violet flame, is cleaning, cleansing your spirit from the inside out. It is cleansing your auric fields. The violet flame is cleansing your mental body. The violet flame is cleansing your spiritual body. The violet flame is cleansing your emotional body. And the violet flame is cleansing your physical body. The violet flame is cleansing your crystalline light body. You also feel the violet flame cleansing each one of your chakras, cleansing your root chakra and balancing it, cleansing your sacral chakra and balancing, cleansing your solar plexus chakra and balancing, cleansing your heart chakra and balancing, cleansing your throat chakra and balancing, cleansing your third eye chakra and balancing, and finally cleansing your crown chakra and balancing. You feel it burning away everything that does not serve you and everything you do not need, moving forward to embody the timeline that is for your highest good. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. All right, hello, my beautiful pile number one. So if you chose this lovely red stone with lines through it, then this is going to for sure be your reading, my dear ones. So right away, before I even could turn on the camera, I was getting Hercules. So the fire element is very strong with you guys, very high, like concentration of energy. So I was hearing Hercules in my head, and then I looked over to my left and I see a squirrel on the tree right by me. And normally the squirrels will just kind of scurry up the trunks, and that'll be that. Like I'll see them for a second, but this one went halfway up the tree trunk and then it turned and then it stared at me. And here it is again. I just looked over again because I saw something out of the corner of my eye, and now he's on the grass. But he'll do this thing where he'll look at me and then he's like moseying around now on the grass. But it's almost like he's very intentional with when he looks at me. It's not like a normal squirrel at all. So I would look up the significance of the squirrel spirit pile number one, because the squirrel's coming in through hot, coming in hot, wanting to work with you. Yeah, he's like eating something and now he's just looking at me while he's eating. I don't know any squirrel that just does that. He knows he's looking at a person. Normally they're scared. That is so wild. Has to be spiritual. Okay, that's wild. So anyway, Squirrel Spirit is coming in wanting to work with you guys, but let's see what your oracle card is here for the overall energy. Interesting. So we have number 29, the journey. Yeah, and we have the owl at the top right there too. So owls and squirrels definitely wanting to work with you guys. And it's so funny that we have the journey here because I was hearing Hercules, and the scene that I was channeling was when he's going to leave his parents and he's going on his quest to Mount Olympus, or however the story, I can't even remember, but he's going somewhere to do something because he's Hercules and he's about to be a hero, right? And so, but the song that came through was, I don't care how far, somehow I'll be strong. I know every mile will be worth my while. I will go most anywhere to feel like I belong. Yeah. And for you guys, I think you've been in this period, you're coming into this period now. I feel like there's this big transformation of where you used to be versus where you are now. And it's like this hero's quest, this hero's journey that you guys are on. I keep hearing chosen one as well. So I'm getting Harry Potter also, and I'm seeing the lightning bolt at the top of his head. Like, I'm hearing someone say like, oh my gosh, yeah, Harry Potter. It's like people saying that to you, like, oh my gosh, you're so-and-so. Because I hear that I keep hearing like big things, you're doing big things. And I love how his hands are over his heart. I'm hearing heart fire also, heart fire. Yeah, so there's this feeling of you going on this journey, going on this quest to be able to find where you belong. And I think some of you may have been in the past, my pile that I've channeled before in other readings, where you kind of may not have understood where you fit in the world. And so you kind of bounce around maybe to these different friend groups, and you're like this chameleon in all of these different friend groups. And it's like when you're with this set of friends, you act this way. When you're with this set of friends, you act this way. And it's almost like you have mastered, I'm hearing master of disguise. You've mastered this ability to be able to be this character or this mood or this energy when you're with different groups of people to be able to fit in best. But you never felt like you could truly find a place that was solely your own. You always felt like you never kind of fit in. I'm kind of having this vibe of like slipping through the cracks. Like you always felt like you were slipping through the cracks. It's like you never really felt like you fit in here, or here. You were like somewhere in between all the time. And so because of that, you guys may have never felt like you really found like your soul tribe of people in this lifetime, like your true ride or die crew, kind of a thing, because you were always searching for them, but you could never find them. You never found people to match that energy that you were giving out. And I think it's so interesting that Hercules was the first thing that they had me kind of center on in this reading. And we have the journey here because Hercules is, when he starts off in the movie, he's like this gangly teenager. He doesn't really fit in anywhere. He's kind of made fun of, and people are like, oh, Hercules, that's just Hercules, sort of a thing. And it's this energy of you being like underestimated by other people around you. Being the one that nobody really sees as like the next big thing. They don't see you as up and coming. You're like this dark horse sort of a thing. But despite all of that, Hercules was in fact a chosen one. You know, Harry Potter, he started out really kind of just like living in a cupboard, right? Living in a cupboard underneath the stairs. Then he gets this letter to this magical witchcraft school. And all of a sudden he's this powerful wizard that he never knew anything about, right? And he's mistreated by his family, his friends, and he's picked on by his cousin, right? And so he's just thinking all of his life like, oh my gosh, like I don't amount to very much, and I'm this normal person, and I don't know where I fit in. So Harry Potter and Hercules, they don't know where they fit in. They feel lost. They feel like they don't have their people around them. But suddenly Hercules goes on this quest, and he finds all of these different characters and gods and goddesses that are his family, right? Because he's the son of Zeus or something like that, if I remember right. So he's actually the heir to a throne, right? He is the son of a god. And Harry Potter is the son of two very powerful wizards in the wizarding world, and he's a very powerful wizard himself. And both of these guys start out as unlikely heroes. They're like underestimated by the people around them, but they go on this journey, they go on this quest, and both of them, yeah, they use their heart space too. And it's like, I keep hearing heart fire. That's your secret power, is being able to not only allow your heart to guide you in terms of your intuition, but your heart also kind of shapes. I'm hearing shapes. It like shapes the way that you present yourself to the world, but in the best way. You do it. It's not forced. It's not fake. You're yourself, right? And so being able to like let off all of those layers of needing to feel like a chameleon in all of these different groups before, it's like, there's no need for that anymore, because now when you allow that heart to shine forward, it's like you're going to start attracting your soul members, your soul tribe members to you, the people that feel like your true family, the people who actually get you for who you are. You don't have to, play a part or put on this energy to be able to fit in or to identify or to connect with the people around you. You can be your own energy, and other people are going to mirror that energy back to you, finally, for the first time in your life. But there's this journey of becoming this powerful chosen one, this powerful alchemist. Yeah, I'm getting this feeling. And it's funny too, because with the fire element, this is very much, if you were listening to the meditation that is time-stamped in the description, it's bringing in the violet flame, which Ascended Master Saint Germain is a part of that. And then it's bringing in the Arcturian collective, the Starseed Collective Arcturians, and they're very big, powerful healers. And alchemists, you would say, in their own right, very powerful healers and alchemists. And then we also bring in the Ascended Master. Why am I blinking? Oh my gosh. It was Saint Germain, and then, oh no, there was another one. And Sekhmet. Sorry, Sekhmet. Oh my gosh. She's like, really? For real? Yes, I'm sorry. So Saint Germain and Sekhmet. But it's like, that violet flame comes through your spirit, comes through your soul, but it's almost like it centers at your heart space. And I'm seeing someone, it's like when we meditate, if we ever notice the fact that when we sit down cross-legged, our legs go out at an angle and then come to the center, our spine is straight, and then our arms come out at an angle to rest on our knees. So with our body, we're actually forming the tetrahedron, which is the Platonic solid sign for fire, the element of fire, which I think just goes to show when we meditate or when we're able to go within, instead of looking outside of ourselves for validation and the need to feel seen and heard outside of ourselves. When we actually go within for all of that, we start to feel that fire of transformation. And it not only changes our spirit, it changes our frequency, but it also changes our outside world. Because what I'm hearing here too is it's that old saying from Hermes. Oh, that's interesting. Hercules is Greek, right? And so Hermes is said to be an incarnation of Thoth. Thoth is the Egyptian deity who created the emerald tablets, and he created all of those, but he was said to also be Hermes in another lifetime, and Hermes was a part of the Greek pantheon, which is where Hercules would come in. This is so fascinating. I love how they tie in these loose ends. So Hermes came up with the Hermetic principles, right? Hermes Hermetic principles. And one of the Hermetic principles that is supposed to be like the laws of all of the universe or whatever, right, is as within, so without. And the principle of that is whatever we're feeling internally, whatever emotions we're creating inside of ourselves, whatever thought patterns we're thinking internally, however we see the world inside of our minds, inside of our hearts, inside of our souls, that is reflected into our outside world because we're co-creators with Source. So whatever energy we have reflected inside of us, Source reflects that and mirrors that energy outside of us, as within, so without. Does that make sense? That's coming through here. It's like as you meditate, as you really take on this transformative, like fire, heart fire, to where you're on there's hero's journey to transform yourself from the inside out. Once you transform your inner self, then your outer world is going to start to reflect that inner change that you've made. Okay. Beautiful. So let's go ahead and get some messages here. So messages from fire to pile 1. Thank you. Yeah, we have 4 of Swords. Yeah, death. It's like the phoenix. Yeah, the phoenix is coming through. Very, very strong. You know, you guys remember in the Harry Potter movie, I can't remember which movie it was in. I think it was in the 5th one. Order of the Phoenix is where it's like the last scenes in the movie. Everyone's in Dumbledore's office. He's seen as like this bad guy. They're going to take him to Azkaban. I can't remember what happened, but they're taking him away for whatever reason. And all of a sudden there is his phoenix, because there's a phoenix that Dumbledore has as a pet in his office. And the phoenix comes up all of a sudden behind Dumbledore. Dumbledore raises his arm, and all of a sudden, poof, it's like there's like a flash of fire, and then Dumbledore is gone along with the phoenix. And he's like, you know, transported into another realm or dimension away from where they are. And I feel like, that's what I just saw for you guys. It's like you guys raise your hands and it's like, poof. Now you see me, now you don't. And it's like you're getting away from these situations and these people that want to try to tear you down, that want to try to paint you as the bad guy, that want to have you be something you're not, right? I think that you have dealt with always being misunderstood, not really accepted for who you are. And so that's why you felt this need to like bounce around to these different friend groups to find where you belong and to be able to be accepted for who you are. But as these other disguises, as these other kind of costumes of people that you're pretending to be, because you know, it's like, okay, I can't show my energy for what it truly is, so let me go ahead and hide that and come through here, you know, in another way, so that I can have my community, so that I can feel truly safe, you know, so that I can feel really secure. But it's changing now. Yeah, the Chariot, it's changing. You guys are on this hero's quest. You're on this journey. You're off and away. I just heard up, up and away. Yeah, you guys are like out of here. You're done. Like playing small, playing the victim. We have 5 of Swords. Yeah, it's like you're gripping that sword in your hands and you're like, hey, yeah. He's like taking the staff in his hand there, and then you're gripping the sword right here and you're like, no more. I'm going to take back my power, and with glee. Don't mind if I do, sort of a thing. Yeah, very much like Harry Potter, Hercules, unlikely hero, dark horse. You're on this hero's journey to become something super powerful. Yeah, 7 of Cups. Yeah, you guys are on this magical journey. Oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. Who are you? 6 of Cups here coming through as well. Yeah. Something could have happened to you in childhood that could have caused you to have this like breakdown in you not being accepted for yourself. And so it caused you to relate to the world in fundamentally like different ways than you did when you were a child. Very pure-hearted as a child, I'm hearing. There was something to where you just were showing yourself and you were allowing that inner energy to come through, but people around were picking at it. I'm seeing people like poking at this energy, saying like, that's not right because of this, and that's not right because of that, and you need to be better because of this, and you're not good enough because of that. And so you learned at a young age, okay, to be myself, and the way that I am is not correct, is not right, at a, you know, fundamentally at a soul level. And so I need to change who I am in order to be correct, in order to be right, in order to be accepted, right? Wow. Back of the deck here. Yeah, we have the Empress. And I think it's funny. I think right there, yep, it could be a phoenix or it could not be, but they're showing it to me as a phoenix. And look at that, again, holding her scepter. You are claiming your power. You're taking it back for your own. This is beautiful. You guys are, I feel like there was a point in your life where you kind of, you had given up on being able to be in your own energy, being accepted for who you really are. And so you settled for kind of like second rate, second best. And in this energy of like, okay, if I can't be myself, then I'm going to at least settle for being this other person that people admire and respect. Yeah, I'm hearing like admiration. People respect and admire like this other piece of you that you bring out. And it's like you're bringing in like little bits of yourself, but you're distorting it. You're like you're misshaping it so that it's really different from who you are at a heart level. But for some reason that brings respect and admiration from the people around you. It brings like a common sense of like community because they have that same energy and they're reflecting it back to you. They see themselves in you, and you've learned how to do that very well. But it's like now there's no more need for that. There's this wisdom element coming through here too with the owl. Where it's like, okay, no need any longer to be in this like denying myself. Yeah, it's like no need to be able to, invalidate my own feelings by pretending to be something that I'm not. I'm actually just going to go out there and I'm going to be myself, and we'll see what happens, sort of a thing. Yeah, and I just got a big, I don't know what that was in my throat chakra. So there's a lot of tension here for you guys. There's a lot of tension to be able to make this step. Yeah. And you see that big energy in his throat chakra, higher heart, lower throat chakra. There's like this big worrying of, if I do this, I'm not actually going to be able to be accepted or to be fully grounded. In this new person, in this new persona. There's this element of you feeling like there's not enough. I want to actually pull, I'm going to pull a couple more. I hardly ever do this, but I'm feeling like there's more to the story here. So I want to actually pull a couple more. So messages from the fire element to pile number 1, please. Yeah. Okay. So we have the Knight of Wands coming through there too. Interesting. Messages from fire to pile number 1, please. Messages from fire to pile number 1. Yeah, and it's almost like, have you guys ever seen The Greatest Showman? Where all of these misfits in society come together and they create the biggest entertainment show, in the area, and they're overnight sensations. Because they just came together and they were able to, sorry, I'm looking if there was a card that fell on the ground. They came together and they were able to show their true spirits to the world. And together, it's like they were so much stronger because of that. And, oh, okay, that's the missing piece. Thank you. Yes. Okay, so we have Ten of Swords as well. Okay, yeah. And then back of the deck energy. Yeah, we have 3 of Wands there too. Yeah, you guys are coming into this authority, this place of authority is very much what I am feeling here. But okay, so the common thread here is it's like, yes, okay. So once you're able to have that heart fire happen and take place, like there's something that's being hidden from you right now, and your spirit guides are not wanting to kind of go much further than that, because they're saying that it's like your path to it's supposed to unfold as it needs to, and you're going to learn much more through it unfolding on your path when you're actually walking down that path than knowing about it ahead of time, is what I'm getting. But part of what's happening here is it's like, as you learn to release that fear and that blockage around your heart about not wanting it to show through to the outside world and to other people, once you let go of that kind of lower frequency, what's going to happen is you're going to allow yourself to not only go on this hero's quest where you're going in search of feeling like being able to express yourself how you want to express yourself in the world, but along the way, you're actually going to attract other people that are in your soul tribe to you. Through that, you guys come together as this big like collective, and you're able to do this inner work that you were already on your way to creating by yourself. It's like you're not changing your path for other people like you have done in the past. You're not changing your energy to make shift and fit around other people. What you're doing is you're still going on that true north path that you were set on from the start. But now other people are attracted to you that are from your soul tribe who mirror that same energy back to you. They actually have the same path as you. They have the same goal, the same destination. You guys come together and collectively, it's like I'm seeing lots of energy, like this beautiful rainbow, white, glistening type of like aura, shimmery, glowy energy. And it's like, but there's like different dots or orbs of energy. And it's like white orbs, but in between the white orbs is this etheric, like white, shimmery, rainbowy energy. And it's like refracting. And there's many, many different white orbs forming this bigger circle. But in between the orbs is this rainbow energy. And it's like this shimmery, reflecting energy in between those white dots coming through. And it's like, as a whole, you guys are like refracting. I don't know the word. Refracting this like beautiful light, and it's like showing and shimmering, and it's like this beacon to everybody else. And it's like as soon as anybody else walks by and sees what you guys are doing, they're drawn in. You guys are like this magnetic force, right? And it's so beautiful. And if you think about it, Harry Potter, when he went over to Hogwarts, he found Ron and Hermione, and he found his people in, the Gryffindor, what do you call it? Not group, the Gryffindor, I don't know what you call it. House. Thank you. The Gryffindor house, like he found his people, right? And so it's like once he found those same people, they magnified each other's energy and they became stronger because of it. And Hercules too, once he found his other people, his gods and goddesses and his family members and these friends that he never knew that he had, their energy was all the same and it was magnified off of each other. It was made stronger because of it. And they were able to be in this beautiful like space of community and like just feeling at home. Yeah, there's like this missing piece finally clicking into place for you guys. And it's like, this is what home feels like. This is what it feels like to be accepted. This is what it feels like to know my people. You know what I mean? That's the energy that I'm getting here. It's so beautiful. But again, you're not changing your path for other people like you have done in the past. Your soul tribe that comes to you through you shining your own heart space, they're going to have the same type of path as you. And through that, it's like you guys are on this journey together to be able to get your emperor, empress moments together. Each of you have that happening separately for yourselves, but it's like you are on this big quest as a group, as a collective, as a whole. Does that make sense? Okay, so messages from fire for pile number 1, please. Messages from fire for pile number 1, please. Thank you. Perspective. None of this matters. Zoom out and common ground. Yeah, so some of you can get lost in your thoughts. I'm hearing some of you can have lots of like I'm hearing bull in a china shop. Like you have these thoughts that just come like barging in and you're like, excuse me, did you even knock? Like, hello, I was here enjoying my afternoon or my evening. And all of a sudden, like, what the heck? You know what I mean? Like you didn't even bring a gift for the hostess or the host, right? But there's like these thoughts that just come barging in without a moment's notice, and they're unwelcome thoughts. And that's kind of what I'm getting here. There's this feeling of you being able to suddenly have perspective around this. Are all of these, do they all have the same? Oh yeah, okay. I never noticed that in all of these cards, they have a little triangle on these, which is the fire element. Hello, how fitting. But yeah, being able to maintain this perspective and see like, okay, these people throwing the shade at me, it's really just themselves like not being healed within themselves. And so I'm mirroring something within them. I'm triggering something that causes them to want to lash out, but it's not personal. This isn't about me. I don't have to take this on. You know what I mean? Or these thoughts that I'm getting right now, I don't have to take these on. These are just, and it's okay. I don't want to get too woo-woo or weird, but it is shown that there are different realms and realities that are layered in this own world, right? So we're living here in Earth as 3D, but in another dimension, time doesn't exist, right? So all time is existing now in other dimensions that we cannot see. Every other time and space that we can think about, especially here on Earth, it's all happening right now, just on another plane that is invisible to us at this moment, but it's happening right here, right now. We could be right now in a different country, in a different time period. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things happening at once. But there are different dimensional beings that have they're not a lighter energy. They take more of they align with the darker forces of the universe, but they have jobs all the same to be able to help teach the collective, right, of their inner power, of their inner strength, their inner authority and sovereignty. But these interdimensional beings sometimes are planted, especially next to light workers or high vibrational, like sacred sites or ley lines around the earth where there's a lot of good energy happening. And these lower vibrational, other dimensional beings will be planted there in order to give off negative energy, dark energy. And sometimes those other dimensional beings are actually paired with light workers. And that is the source. It's almost like they're whispering, intrusive, like anxiety prone, depression prone thoughts, because they see the light that we have as light workers, as, star seeds that are planted here to bring, a new evolution to the earth. They don't want that. These lower dimensional beings don't want that. And so they're planted, and they actually will whisper these thoughts, and they will put out this energy, of thought patterns that somehow, if we don't protect ourselves as light workers, we can pick up on those, because we're so empathic and because we're such sponges of energy. We pick up on those things easily, and sometimes we can take those on as our own thoughts, right? Sometimes it's these other dimensional beings. Sometimes it's the collective consciousness. Right now we're going through a period of time where there's a lot of fear on the planet. And so we absorb a lot of those fearful thoughts unconsciously, right? So what's happening is we are actually taking on those thoughts as our own as light workers, when really they're not even ours to begin with, more times than not. Okay. So there's all these different ways that we can see that, you're gaining this perspective, and to see like, okay, this actually isn't mine. I'm not going to take this on because it was never mine to begin with. This is something that I'm not going to allow to happen to me. I take back my power, and I tell myself how to feel. I tell myself how to think. And this is not what I want to be feeling or thinking in this moment. I'm going to change that. I'm going to change that story. I'm going to change that narrative right now, right? So you're learning that. You're learning that lesson right now. We also have star bathing, light body, crystal grid, transmission, and activation. Yeah, big activation coming in with you guys right now, especially with the heart. And I'm seeing the crown there too. It's like your heart and then your crown chakra is coming like together, and they're marrying each other somehow, and it's providing this beautiful energy for your hero's journey, your hero's quest as Hercules / Harry Potter. And then we have inner earth. You'll survive this, new solutions and beginnings. Yeah. Okay, so this is another kind of controversial topic. Sometimes I used to skirt away from this, but honestly, whoever this is meant to resonate with and click with, you guys will, and that's all that matters. So there is something, like there's a theory out there that I wholeheartedly believe that there is definitely an inner earth, and in inner earth, which can also be called Agartha, there are these beings, right? So we have all heard about Atlantis being, something that existed 12, 13, 14,000 years ago. Plato talked about it. The ancient Egyptians talked about it in their stories, and today it's been forgotten for the most part, but Atlantis existed, and so did Lemuria, Mu, all of these other ancient civilizations. Well, when all of these civilizations back in the day were destroyed, some of those civilizations, they actually went down to the inner earth, where they have their own sun, their own atmosphere. They have, their own version of Earth, but it's just inside the planet. And some of those Atlantean beings, Lemurian beings, Mu beings, ancient civilizations, some native tribes actually sought refuge down in inner Earth as well. So we have a lot of these higher dimensional beings actually below our feet that we can work with if we so choose, and if we open ourselves up to that energy, and if we're open-minded to that energy. So I am hearing here that for some of you, these inner earth beings are wanting to work with you. Ancient Lemurians, ancient Atlanteans, ancient people from Mu, ancient, tribes that are in inner earth, and they would be able to help you in this inner quest that you're on right now, to be able to transform yourself. And then we also have baby steps at the back of the deck. So action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. Yeah, beautiful. So for some of you, you're kind of resistant to this hero's journey. You're like, I don't really know if I want to go on this journey, kind of go maybe a few steps and then stop and assess, when we're halfway down the path and we can still see our house in the distance. No, that's not what's going to happen here. In order for there to be true change, true transformation, you need to keep going and walk by faith. Yeah, I'm hearing walk by faith to be able to get in this place where you're like, I don't want to be stuck where I was before. I'm done with that energy. I'm done with that headspace. I want to move beyond that. It's like you need to be, it's like being sick and tired of being sick and tired. You're so done with that old energy, that old space, that old thought thinking, that you're like, I'm done. I'm going to leave it behind, and I'm walking forward no matter what. I'm walking in faith. I trust the universe. I trust my higher self, right? My higher self is not going to let me fall. That's a good affirmation for you guys to say, because some of you may feel, worrisome, or you guys may be anxious little bunnies like I tend to be, right? And so telling yourself how to think, telling yourself how to feel can be very therapeutic, and reminding yourself, I'm not going to fall. My higher self is not going to allow that to happen. I can walk in faith and trust that where I'm going is so much better than where I've been. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, my beautiful pile number ones, this has been such an honor to be able to tap into your energy. Thank you so much. Go ahead and like and subscribe to see more videos like this. I love you guys so, so, so much, and I will see you in the next reading. All right, hello, my beautiful pile number twos. So if you chose this wonderful dragon stone, then this is for sure going to be your reading, my dears. So let's go ahead and see what oracle you got as your message from the fire element. So you have number 30, and this is lightning. Interesting. Do you see that human in the background? It's like the shape of a human as well. And it's funny too that, okay, before I started your reading, I took a sip of water, and all of a sudden, I felt like this big, I still feel it. There's like this big pressure. So where your belly button is, maybe 3 inches above it, that middle abdomen space, kind of where your solar plexus actually, that's where, hello, Elizabeth. So where your solar plexus is, that's where I started feeling a lot of pressure. I started feeling kind of like this nausea type of energy, like a lot of pressure building up in that higher abdomen area. And I think it's funny that there's that same kind of energy being shown there. I'm also hearing lightning in a bottle. Yeah, and do you see the spark of energy at the very top of his head right there? I'm feeling like for a lot of you, you guys are in this stage of you have this creation that you're bringing to the outside world, right? But you're still working out your inner world right now at the same time. And that's where I'm feeling this pressure and this energy here. You know what I'm seeing it too is, do you guys remember the movie Hook, where in the movie there is, at the beginning, there's this character, Smee, and he's working with ships in a bottle, right? He's putting like these very intricate ships, and they're in these bottles, and he's using like these long tweezers to like place the sail and the steering wheel of the ship, and not the steering wheel. What do you guys call that? I don't even know. I have no idea. But the thing where you steer the ship, he's putting in. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I amaze myself. I'm like, who are you that you don't know the word for how to steer a ship? But anyway, that thing. But anyway, so Smee's working with putting the ship in a bottle, and it's like there's this energy too of in Hook, the dad. The dad is like so focused on his career. He's so focused on like making money and building, his career and finances, and so, all about the adult responsibilities and all of that. But what happens is when he goes to Never Never Land, he actually is taught by the children around him to actually, have more of that childlike faith in the world and that essence of being a child and bringing out that inner child again. And I feel like for a lot of you, you're going through that same kind of rebirth in your own life where you're coming from being very logic minded, very all about obligations and responsibilities and the black and white X's and O's of what needs to be done in order to make sure that we keep, the lights on, or we have to make sure that we make it through college or make it through, our first jobs. And we lose some of that, we're losing that magic here, but you're getting it back. That's the good news. I don't want to paint this from a bad perspective, because that's not the energy I'm getting. The energy I'm getting is you were coming from this space, but now you're in this energy of beginning to see the magic in the world around you again, being able to see the world through eyes of a child, through this energy of awe and wonder, and looking at the bigness and the beautifulness of the world and the universe around us. Instead of getting so caught up in I have to do this, I have to do that, but taking a step away from that and opening yourself up to divine inspiration is what I just heard. And you guys are using that divine inspiration in some sort of creativity thing that for some of you, it's a project that you're working on, in which case I did a reading recently where there's definitely a pile for you and messages from your spirit team or advice from your spirit team, something like that. There's a pile in there for you, but some of you are working on creative projects and you're working to bring that to the outside world. Others of you are just gaining that inner child back once again, and you're gaining that divine inspiration, that divine creativity, and letting that energy flow in, oh my gosh, excuse me. Yeah, I just burped. That was the pressure that I was feeling in my tummy. Okay, so you guys for sure are having a big expansion in your solar plexus. And that is you're working to be able to take back your inner power. And somehow your inner child is flowing with that inner power. And I don't know how or why, but we're going to get into that. I've never really gotten a message like that before. That's really interesting. Okay, let's explore together. So let's go ahead and see here. So messages from the fire element for pile number 2, please. Messages from fire to, thank you. Yeah, so we have the Queen of Coins or Pentacles being shown through here. Okay. Yeah, there's this big release happening for you guys right now, releasing that old black and white energy and opening up to color, opening up to beauty, opening up to inspiration, of creativity, of seeing the world like a 5-year-old. I'm getting 4 or 5 years old. If any of you do inner child work, I'm being told that is going to be a great age for you to do some meditative work on, is at the ages of 4 and 5. That's going to provide a lot of healing, a lot of integration is what I just heard. And it's going to help you a lot moving forward. Yeah. Inner child meditations between the ages of 4 and 5. We also have the 2 of Swords here. Yeah. Yeah, okay. And then we also have justice, la justice. My French accent is terrible, but you guys get the picture. It's so funny. When I first got this tarot deck, I saw that all of the things down below describing the cards were all in French, and I was like, oh no. But then I was like, oh wait, I can read tarot. Like, I don't have to rely on seeing the Queen of Coins, you know, and plus it's pretty obvious when you take a look at them. But I loved it too because of the colors. The colors in here are just beautiful. Like, look at that. Oh my gosh, so pretty. So pretty, so pretty. Okay, so we have the Knight of Coins coming through here. And then we also have the Five of Swords coming through here. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. And the back of the deck energy is the Three of Wands. Interesting. Three of Wands came through for the last pile too. So did the Five of Swords. And so did the Queen of Coins. Oh my gosh, you're right. Okay. Interesting. You may have messages in pile 1. Yeah. I don't know why I was guided to share that just now, because even when you have the same tarot cards, sometimes they have different messages attached to them, but I was guided to say that. So there you go. All right. So yes, I'm getting this kind of hook vibe of you guys rediscovering this magic within yourselves again, being able to connect to your inner children more, coming to this place within yourself of knowing that it's safe to play. Yeah, like it's safe to play. And they're bringing me back to that scene. Do you remember in Hook where he is trying to eat, but there's no food? Everybody, all the children are like digging away at this food in their empty bowls. And he looks and he's like, what are you guys doing? Like, there's no food there. And then the children are like, you have to see, you have to see, you have to believe, you have to believe. And there's something that happens at that moment in Robin Williams, I don't know his character, but in Robin Williams' mind at that moment, something clicks, something shifts in his mind. And all of a sudden, it's like he can see this. Yeah, I'm getting chills. He can see this great feast of food, all different colors of food before him. But it was a shift that needed to happen in his level of belief in his mind before he was able to allow himself to be open to seeing what was really there. You know what I mean? And that level of imagination was then opened up in him, and that allowed him to change from the inside out to where he was able to play and become this great hero. Yeah, you may have messages in pile 1, you guys. Okay. But anyway, so, and then he was able to fully then become Peter Pan, right? Because before, people were saying, okay, this old man who doesn't act like Peter Pan, this is supposed to be the guy? Like, hello, no, he's not Peter Pan at all, because Peter Pan was a state of mind. Okay, yes, Peter Pan was a state of mind. It was a state of being. It was a way of behaving. And you can have your identity as something, but no, that's not the right. Spirit guides, please give me the right words. I'm getting excited because there's a big message they want to get through, and I want to get this right. You can be called something or be categorized as something, but not identify with it, not actually become that energy. Does that make sense? So this man, Robin Williams, was Peter Pan, but he had grown away from that energy over the years. He was now this old person who didn't embody any of the same values, any of the same character as Peter Pan. He believed in not embracing his inner child, and he was mean, to be honest, at the beginning. He didn't really like a lot of the kids. But then once he changed his state of mind, he became, through his thoughts and his energy and his beliefs, he became that energy of Peter Pan. And once again, he was reunited with that same person that he used to be for the Lost Boys. It's like, there you are, Peter. Yeah, I'm seeing at the end of the movie where this little boy comes up to his face and he takes off he puts on his he takes off his glasses. That's right. And he puts his hands, his like thumbs on his face, and he says, there you are, Peter. It's like, that's coming through for you guys. It's this state of mind that's changing for you. You're coming back to this divine inspiration, this divine creativity, this inner child beauty, magic that's like escaping from your souls. I don't want to get too poetic and like you know what I mean? Rose-colored glasses here, but that's what I'm feeling. It's this beautiful type of transformation. Yeah, justice is finally coming through here. You guys are losing sight of this conflicted energy, this obligation, responsibility energy, and you're coming into this divine justice, this queen of coins, this inner abundance coming through here. And then we have the knight of coins here too. It's like, yeah, you guys are actually taking actionable steps towards this inner and financial abundance, inner abundance, everything. It's coming through as that. You guys are not only becoming this energy, but now you're taking steps forward in that energy, which is so important. Number one, it's important to change our mindsets, to change our belief systems, because that changes the way that we behave and our energy and who we become. But it's then important to pair that spiritual and emotional work with the 3D, right? And then it's like, okay, you've now changed your energy. Now you actually need to take steps forward and act in that energy in order to bring about and manifest this beautiful creativity that you're bringing forward, this beautiful inspiration that you're bringing forward. And it's going to help not only you, but a lot of people around you. It's going to inspire not only yourself, but it's like, yeah, what inspires you will inspire many, is what I'm hearing. Fire is telling you guys that it's coming through, that you guys are going to touch the hearts and the minds of so many beautiful souls by being able to reclaim your own inner child and your own inner inspiration. It's going to pull that same inner fire from within them, that own inner inspiration and creative heart and spirit within them at the same time. Yeah, but it's like being able to claim this authority. You need to be able to claim it as your own. It's not enough to be able to think about it and to say, wow, wouldn't that be nice? That would be really cool if that could happen. But then you don't do anything about it. It's being able to actually not be the victim of your own life anymore and taking charge of your own inner happiness, of your own inner world once again. And I don't want to paint this from a higher, me being on my high horse sort of a thing. Whenever I say these things, guys, just know that I myself have walked through all of this too. So they're speaking through me right now. Elizabeth is not speaking because Elizabeth has a lot of this to work on herself. You know what I mean? So I don't want you guys to feel like, oh my gosh, I feel like she's, shaking her finger at me. No, it's like I have this stuff to work on too, but they're coming through. This fire, the fire element and the fire elemental spirits are coming through to share this with us. And that's such a beautiful thing where we can stop being victims and instead be victors of our own lives and take that power back and do things that cause us to feel inspiration on a daily basis, do things that cause us to feel creative on a daily basis. It doesn't have to be big. It can be small things. It can be things like buying a good set of headphones. I was listening to music just now, and these are my Beats headphones, but I love these guys because sometimes your earbuds can only do so much, but when you put these on, it's like you're immersed in this 3-dimensional sound world, if that makes sense. And the sound is so rich and so vibrant and so vivid. And for me, I love meditating to that. I love coloring or drawing or singing to that type of, any type of music that I want, whether it's ambient music or whether it's Broadway musicals or pop or whatever the case, R&B, whatever I'm feeling that day. But it allows me to just feel like I'm immersed in this world of sound. And it heals me so much. It heals me from the inside out when I can just listen to this music that I love and feel like I'm just like dropped into this beautiful sound bucket of beautiful sound water around me because it feels like I'm in it. Does that make sense? Anyway, finding little things like that to be able to up your level of inspiration and creativity is really going to help you guys a whole lot. And that's going to be different for all of you. I just heard running for someone as well. So some of you could be runners, and that somehow, running is really good. Exercise in general is really good for clearing the mind and getting us out of our minds and into our bodies. And then when we revisit our creativity later on, it flows much more easily because we've allowed that energy to clear. So those channels are now open. And so that creativity can flow from source through our crown chakra down into our bodies, our light bodies, and our souls, so that that can come through as that creativity. And we can lose ourselves in it instead of judging ourselves for it. That's what I just heard too. Some of you judge yourselves for how good you're being at being creative or not. Like, am I doing this right? Am I doing this good enough? Am I doing this well? And this is about letting go of that energy, because there's where there's creativity, there's no good, there's no bad. When I was little, I'm not a drawer by any means, but I used to love abstract, like this concept of abstract, because I was like, oh, so if you just like, paint some lines and you put some dots here and you just do whatever, it doesn't have to be like good. You don't have to have any artistic talent, but suddenly you call it abstract and it's art. So it's almost like whenever I draw, I always draw in like abstract art, because your girl cannot draw anything realistic. It is a hot mess express. But that's coming through here. It's being able to not judge what you're doing creatively as like, oh, this is really good or that's really bad. It's not being able to think so much. Yeah, you're not thinking with your physical mind. You're thinking with your third eye. Yeah, that's what I just heard. So you're thinking with your third eye. Cave of Brahma meditation might help you guys a lot. I did an Ascended Masters reading a couple weeks ago where that came through. And that's coming through again. A lot of times what we do if we're stressed or if we're not connected to our spirits for long periods of time, we can feel a lot of energy at the very front of our head. And there's this energy that's coming forward into our foreheads. And that's a lot of times where we can reside. But what helps is being able to take that energy from the front of our minds to the middle. There's this space in the middle of our brains, in the middle of our minds, called the Cave of Brahma, and we allow all of that energy to go to the middle of our heads, and suddenly it's like you feel weightless. If you want to try that now with me, taking that energy from the front of your minds, where your forehead is, where your temples are, where your eyebrows are, and bringing that energy back, picturing it as a little ball of light, and suddenly it's that little ball of light inside of your head. And that's where your focus is right now. Right in the center of your head. Do you feel that? You feel weightless, right? Oh my gosh, I feel it every single time I do it. But that's really going to help you guys get yourselves out of your physical mind and into your spiritual mind, to let the creativity flow, because the purpose of the creativity is not always the end result. It's in the process of creating something where you transform in the journey of making something happen. Does that make sense? So very, very good stuff there. Okay. So the fire elemental spirits, messages for pile number 2, please. Thank you. Yeah, we have lifting the veil, questioning everything. Anything unaligned must go. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Messages from the fire element to pile number 2, please. Messages from the fire element to pile number 2, please. Yeah? Okay. We have weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then we have I remember, soul plan, the fated life versus the destiny life. Okay. All right. Lots to unpack here. And then bottom of the deck, we have star family. You're part of a team of souls. Call in support. Yeah. Okay. So first off, clear as day message right here. You guys are a part of a soul tribe. All right. So call on your family, call on your soul team to be able to help you, your spirit guides, your starseed family. You know what I mean? Even past life selves who were able to become more like fully evolved than what you are right now, because all time exists right now. So if you think about it, your incarnation where you are embodying your most evolved self is happening right now, and we can tap into that energy as a timeline in the multiverse. It exists somewhere in time and space already. We just need to be able to tap into that pocket, if you want to call it that. But what's happening is call in these energies of the light conscious, I might add, your past incarnations of the light conscious where you were highly evolved. You can call on those energies, okay? Because sometimes we do take on different roles because all the world is a stage, as Shakespeare said. So we need to sometimes embody dark energies in order to help teach other souls, including ourselves. And it doesn't make us bad at a soul level. It just means that we needed to embody a type of dark energy for a purpose in a specific lifetime. Okay, I'm told to leave it there. It's going to resonate with whoever that's meant to resonate with. Okay, so star family, yes, call in support to your people, all right? It's not like a one-man show here. A lot of us can feel like, oh, wow, look at how much I can do on my own strength. Like I have all this, great strength within me. And it's like, yes, we are strong souls. We are strong beings. We can do so much on our own. But why do we need to? Why do we have to in some instances when we can allow ourselves to flow, right? And have some of that burden taken off of us. And here with the weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. Allowing all of those responsibilities, all of those obligations that you felt before that were preventing you from feeling blocked off to your inner creativity and inner child and inspiration, letting that go because you recognize that it doesn't serve you and it's not yours to take on in this lifetime, right? That is for sure something that you guys don't need to cater to anymore. Yeah, it's not an energy that you need to have, right? And so it's giving yourselves permission. I heard this thing once where someone talked about it. I think it was Brene Brown. She talks about this idea of giving yourself a permission slip. And she's like, you give yourself like this handwritten note where you write on it, I give, your name, Elizabeth, blah, 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 whatever your name is. I give so-and-so permission to da, 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 da. I give Elizabeth permission to let go of what is not hers, to enforce stronger boundaries. And give yourself permission slips of these different things. Because sometimes it's so strange, but we feel like we need external approval or external validation for something before we can go forward and actually do it and embody that energy on our own. But sometimes even being that own validation for yourself is all you need. And then you're able to be like, okay, cool. Like I can actually do this and it's all good. And it's everything is okay, sort of a thing. But allowing yourselves to have permission to let go of all of that stuff is going to be super helpful for you. With I Remember in Soul Plan, the fated life versus the destiny life reminds me of this phrase that I was taught. And basically there's a difference between your life on default and then your designed life, right? So it's a life by default versus a life of design. And the life by default is very kind of mindless energy. It's like allowing yourself to think in this victim mentality. It's allowing external circumstances to affect how you feel in your inner world. It affects your emotions. What happens to you affects how you feel about yourself. And there's all of this kind of it's this unconscious attitude that we have of being victims and not feeling like we have our own inner power within us. So we're constantly allowing ourselves to be at the mercy of everything around us. But the life by design is being able to call back our inner power, to understand our inner authority, and to say and to recognize that we actually can be in charge of how we feel and how we think, regardless of what's happening around us. We can be the eye of the storm ourselves. Chaos can be happening all around us. A tornado could be happening, but we are the eye of the storm where there is complete peace and calm and joy and happiness, that we don't need to take on that external energy that is not ours, that isn't ours to begin with. That's coming through as being very important here. It's being able to be mindful, conscious of what you tell yourself, how you feel, not allowing your emotions to be wrapped around your circumstances and what happens to you, but allowing all of those things to fall away, and allowing your inner world to be completely at peace and at rest, because it just simply is. You're simply enough just as you are. You're loved just as you are. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to be anything special other than what you are right here and right now. You are your own divine expression of source in this moment, just as you are, imperfections and all. Okay. It's owning that inner divinity and being mindful of what you're telling yourself so that you can live your life by design. And then lifting the veil, questioning everything, anything unaligned must go. I think also allowing yourselves to understand too, and I'm talking to myself here as well, but anytime that we feel like we have a lot of responsibilities or obligations or these weighty things of the world that weigh us down, and we're like, I have to do this, I have to do that, da 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 da. Understanding that sometimes that can put us into headspaces that are not aligned with our highest selves, with our highest good sometimes, right? So understanding it's important to pull back our energy when that's needed, recognize where we're investing our energy into, what sources, what projects, what people, what mindsets are we investing our energy into? Where your mind goes, energy flows, right? So whatever we focus on grows. So it's lifting that veil again, and it's being mindful, questioning everything, asking yourself, what am I thinking that is not providing me with the highest vibrational emotion in this moment? We're meant to stay in this this head space, this heart space of high vibration, right? All the time. And that is what's going to allow us, staying in that space of love, of high vibration, is what allows us to call in abundance and inner light, inner wisdom, inner fulfillment. It clears all of the illusions from us so that we can see clearly with our spiritual eyes. And when we don't allow ourselves to fall back into that flow, and we fight against it, and we allow ourselves to feel fear and worry and anger and all of these things that don't serve us, we allow ourselves to fall out of alignment with true happiness and with our higher selves. So being able to have these higher vibrational emotions that we continually strive to embody every moment of the day will bring us in alignment with our highest self. And that's going to allow us to be able to have this change of mind, this change of heart, this change of personal power happen more quickly, but also permanently. It's going to be a permanent shift is what I'm hearing, instead of a temporary shift, because by then it's a habit where every single day you're aware of those lower vibrational emotions and thoughts, and you're like, oh, nope, I don't need that. Let me go back to my high vibrational thoughts, my high vibrational emotions, and let me exist here. And that's going to provide you a lot of peace and a lot of security. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. My beautiful pile number 2s, I think that's everything. So you guys are coming into this place of calling back your inner child. Oh no, that's not everything, because they wanted me to tie up that loose end. Remember at the beginning when I was like, somehow your inner child is tied to this personal power for whatever reason. It's because pile number 2, your inner child does not judge. Your inner child does not take on those negative emotions and those negative energies easily. Your inner child is a very high vibrational energy state of being. And when we tap into that inner child, we're able to tap into a mindset that doesn't judge, but rather is curious, right? We're able to tap into a mindset that doesn't feel fear, but instead feels, again, curious. It questions. It doesn't judge. It doesn't feel anger easily. I mean, sometimes as children we do, but for the most part, we're able to, as children, be resilient. We have more malleable energy. Our energy is less hard. It's less fixed. It's softer energy. It flows easily. We, as children, we may go through periods of fear, of anger, of frustration. But if you notice, a child can be like super fearful, and 2 minutes later, they're like playing outside and they're completely happy. It's like as children, we go through these emotional blocks and these lower vibrational emotions very easily. We're able to alchemize a lot easier as children. And being able to tap into your inner child is going to call back that personal power for yourself so that you can be in that softer, flowier energy, that less hard, fixed energy that you've been adopting, so that you can feel this great inner power, this great inner fulfillment, this great insight, inspiration, of creativity, of play, of wonderment, of awe. Yeah, romanticizing life as well. Inner children, like our children, romanticize the heck out of this world. You know what I mean? Like they can have a box and some crayons and a blanket, and all of a sudden they've created a castle. You know what I mean? And their inner world is so rich and abundant and vibrant, and it shows in the way that they see the outer world. And that's what your inner child wants to bring you. That inner child from 4, 5 years old wants to come through and show you how to look at the eyes, how to look at the world through the eyes of magic. Okay, that's what they want to say. Okay, I could not leave you guys without delivering that message, because that was like one of the key points of this pile. So anyway, love you guys so much. Thank you for allowing me to tap into your energy. It's been such an honor. Do like and subscribe to see more videos like this. And again, I will see you in the next reading. All right, hello, my beautiful pile number 3. So if you chose this wonderful hematite, then this is for sure going to be your reading, my dear friends. So let's go ahead and see what you got here for your oracle messages from the fire element. Yeah, we have number 60 for the witness. Interesting. Okay. So okay. So, do you see how her hands, she's holding up her hands like this, you know, and you see the eye through there. Number one, you guys are a very spiritual pile. I don't doubt that you guys have had multiple spiritual awakenings, because as you know, we don't just have one spiritual awakening. We have multiple as we grow and evolve. But you're very spiritual. So obviously, you know, with the hand here and the eye, you have lots of clairvoyancy coming through, lots of high crown chakra energy coming through as well, lots of spiritual gifts that I'm seeing. But they just gave me the movie, not Karate. My gosh, I legit could not say the word for a moment. Karate Kid. They're bringing me that, and it's like Mr. Miyagi, where he teaches the boy wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. That's kind of what I'm getting right here. And she's in that hand position of wax on, wax off. But I don't want to make this, you know, too funny, because it's like you guys are very like serious spiritual people, you know. But yeah, you guys are definitely on a spiritual quest for sure. You are my pile of mystics, of initiates. You love a good treasure hunt. You're very much the seekers. You guys are seeking mystical energy, mystical power, mystical knowledge, mystical wisdom. Like that is this pile here. And the fire element spirits want to acknowledge that. And they're coming through to say that there is someone who's coming through to work with you. They just said the fire element, duh. So the fire element is coming through to work with you on your path of initiation, is what I'm hearing. So for some of you, I don't know if you've ever done this before. This is a terrible example because that candle's on its last leg. But if you take a candle, for example, you notice that it has flames, right? It has little flames in it. So what you can do is you can actually take a candle, put it in front of you, and sometimes I like to cup it to feel the heat, like not skin on skin because it's really hot, obviously, but just like lightly, like around the glass, whatever feels comfortable. And I'll look in it, and instead of like water scrying, where you take a bowl of water and you can scry through it, I'll do fire, like flame scrying, and I'll just let my attention settle on the flame. And I'll allow my mind to kind of go. And sometimes I'll start to see pictures in the flame. Other times I'll get downloads or thoughts that all of a sudden come to me, or feelings. But that's something that I like to do. And it's been a real fun thing for me to like expand, I guess, or like test myself on like growing that ability, because it's new. It's something new for me. But I'm hearing that the fire element wants to help you guys with that too. It's going to really grow your claircognizance, is what I'm hearing, because they're going to start giving you images and messages through the flame. Also, fun fact, fire, especially candle flames, that's an easy kind of energy highway or channel for your spirit guides to come through and visit you on. Somehow with the flame and the energy of the fire, they're able to kind of use that as like a conduit to put their energy in the flame. And then you can pick up on that energy a lot easier through the candle. So that's something else that they wanted me to tell you. But I'm getting a feeling like you guys are very much like my mystics, my initiates. You guys are on the path to higher learning. You love like learning about ancient Egypt or ancient civilizations, ancient India for some of you I'm hearing, but the cities. Yes. I don't know if I'm saying that correct. I really apologize if I'm not. I don't like to mispronounce names or things like that, but like the cities, which I think SIDI, I don't know if, or maybe it's Sudis. But anyway, there's this powerful group of mystics from ancient India where they were able to perform acts that almost look like they were like powers, like mystical powers. They could levitate. They could do all of these crazy, cool spiritual abilities and things that from the outside people were like, whoa, like they're magicians, like they're really powerful sorcerers. But really, any person can attain those powers. It's just a matter of disciplining the mind and doing a spiritual practice over the course of several years to develop them. But that's what is called I think it's the cities. I'm going to write how to spell it on here for us because I don't want to give any misinformation and I want to be accurate when I speak. So you'll see that flashing across the screen momentarily. But anyway, so what I'm seeing here is you guys are definitely my initiates. You guys are seeking this higher knowledge. And I'm getting the movie, Karate Kid for sure, but also like, yeah, I'm also getting Sword in the Stone energy. So you guys are like Arthur on the hunt, striving to find your place and wanting to be this great, powerful, magician or warlock. And Merlin comes in and Merlin is like, okay, kid, let's see what you got, and then Merlin kind of helps you with these powers and these abilities, which is super funny. Yeah, Merlin could specifically be coming through to work with you through the fire element is what I'm hearing. So anything that involves fire or heat, also the violet flame, right? If you did that meditation, which is time-stamped in the description, we do a meditation that involves the violet flame, very powerful purification meditation through Ascended Master Saint Germain. But that's for sure coming through too. That the violet flame and the fire element through Merlin is coming through to want to teach you and help you on your path of initiation as you grow this side of you in this space. So I think that's awesome. I would just say, like, me too. I am for sure always about I'm fascinated by the occult and Helena Blavatsky and the Ascended Masters and the Great White Brotherhood and, advanced civilizations and other dimensions and planets. Like, I'm all about that stuff and I continually love to learn all about it. And anytime I hear the term initiation or Rosicrucianism is another really fascinating one that I love to study because it's really just a series of initiations and the next level of knowledge that you earn your way towards through whatever knowledge or lessons you've learned up until that point. And it's okay, now you can go to the next level and uncover the next layer of knowledge to go through. And that's the beauty, is it's so layered that there's always another layer to get through to. There's never a point where you're okay, I've learned everything there is to learn in the spiritual world. I know everything there is to know. No. As soon as you think that you know everything or you've researched everything or you're aware of everything that exists in the spiritual world, another layer gets revealed to you and suddenly you have this other, I don't even know how to describe it, this other realm of learning to explore, to dive into, it's like an adventure. An adventure of the mind. Am I taking these? They're saying yes. Okay. I don't usually do that, but saying yes, so we will. So we have the King of Coins. Interesting. King of Coins, yep. And then we also have, interesting, so we have the 8 of Wands, and they actually want it right side up. The 8 of Wands, right side up. Interesting. Okay. Messages from the fire element for pile number 3, please. Messages from the fire element for pile number 3, please. Messages from the fire element for pile number 3. Oh, almost. These cards are like shuffling weirdly even. I don't know what's going on. What you doing? The first 2 piles, it was fine, but now all of a sudden they're getting weird. Messages from the fire element for pile number 3. Ooh. Yeah, then we also have the King of Wands. Ooh. You guys are some powerful souls. Hello. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Do you see like the dragon? The dragon thingies in the back? I don't know what to call it, but there's little dragon wings in the back of all these orbs. So I'm hearing Merlin and the dragons would like to work with you. Oh, dragons, hello. What do? They breathe fire. There we go. Okay. I just was corrected. Not all dragons breathe fire. There are some dragons that do not breathe fire. Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. Okay. Yeah, they're wanting me to clarify too. So I just recently learned this myself. So Merlin did exist in the past as a powerful wizard, magician, druid, but Merlin actually is like an umbrella term for you guys would want to Google this. I can't remember the specifics, but basically like the term Merlin applies to several different like prophets or druids back in the day. So it refers to actually like a group of people as opposed to like one specific person. So I'm sure there was actually someone named Merlin who was a druid, you know, in the past, but it soon became an umbrella term for any type of high ranking like druid or warlock or wizard of the druid persuasion, I guess, if you want to call it that. So it actually refers to a collective of people. So I don't know. I would venture to say use your own intuition to see if the spirit Merlin or the collective of Merlins is wanting to work with you, because it could be the collective of druids known as the Merlins are coming through to want to work with you guys. I'm getting actually for most of you, it is the collective of Merlins, the collective of druids that are coming through to want to work with you, not the specific spirit, because they're coming to you through a collective. They're saying because their energy is going to magnify off of each other, and it's going to help you grow much more quickly with all of them being able to help you combined collectively. Okay. So the Merlin collective as well as dragons. Dragons are awesome too. Dragons are ancient beings who are just super, super cool. Love them. So we have the Fool here in reverse. Yeah. Yeah, there's something about inner vision, eyesight. Yeah, we have Temperance here. Being a witness to not only what's happening around you, but being a witness to what's happening within yourself, like being aware of the changes within yourself. Yeah, spirit tends to be very subtle, and it's not always like wham, hits you in the face sort of a thing when it comes to seeing signs or getting messages or getting downloads. It requires us to still our minds, to slow our minds down oftentimes, because we're so distracted, right, in this day and age, that sometimes it can cut us off from our spiritual advancement because we're so preoccupied with the 3D world, or we are, so packed with our schedules that we don't give ourselves any time to slow down a bit. And that slowing down, letting our mind, I just, burped a little bit. So there's definitely something coming through for you guys, like a big release of some sort where you're like releasing. So for some of you, you may have had like this old way of thinking about what was proper in terms of like the spiritual world. Some of you may have had family members or friends or society kind of make fun of you or look down on you for your spiritual beliefs. And so you feel like you can't really talk about it with those around you. And so that causes you to maybe hide a part of yourself, but you're releasing some of that right now. And what's happening is, as you slow down, you're able to witness those changes happening within yourself. You're able to witness your thoughts. You're able to see what thoughts are my own versus what thoughts are coming in to my mind that I recognize as my spirit guides talking to me instead of this being my own thought. You're able to recognize and kind of maybe start to see, once you close your eyes and start meditating, not on anything in particular, but maybe you'll start to get images and you'll start to see other worlds and other dimensions and other realms, right? And sometimes we can jumpstart that process by going to a fantasy world that's already created. So if you want to do an exercise, I'm hearing, where when you meditate, go back to, the medieval times where the Merlins, the Druids, the ancient Celtic prophets would have existed. Maybe immerse yourself in that world. Google some pictures of that and maybe do a couple of, inner meditations on those Google images that you search, or any other ancient civilization or world that you want to explore more of. Google some images, put yourself in that world through what you see and research, and then pretty soon you'll start to notice that world comes to life, and then things start to change. And the key is, when those things start to change, don't doubt yourself. And number two, flow with it and allow those changes to happen. Because then what happens is our soul, our spirit guides, our higher self is then taking over and communicating to us through pictures, through visuals, through sounds, through smells, okay? And that takes on a life of its own. But sometimes we can jumpstart it by going into a fantasy world that someone else has already created. And then we can jumpstart ourselves into other dimensions and other realms that maybe we're not familiar with. Okay. Back of the deck, we also have 9 of Wands coming through here. Interesting. Yeah, okay. So I'm getting that for you guys. Yeah, it's like you're on this divine quest of inner knowing. This 8 of Wands energy coming through here, very much like action-packed energy of let's go, let's do this. Like, I'm so ready. I'm hungry. I'm hearing I'm hungry. I'm hungry for more. I'm hungry to learn. I'm hungry to grow. I'm hungry to change, right? I want to learn so much. And you're offset by this King of Wands and this King of Coins energy here, this Pentacle energy. So very much like this manifestation, action energy coming forward here. And then this abundant energy coming through as well, where it's paying off. I'm seeing that for a lot of you guys. You're very intense about your spiritual life, your spiritual practices sometimes. And with the Fool in reverse, you guys can get a little bit serious and a little bit too in like your mind maybe of needing to be like, okay, so like, for example, if you're learning how to channel, or read cards, for example, sometimes I know some people can get into this headspace of like, okay, like, what exactly does this mean? And like, I have to write down every single card that I get. And it's like, they make this process, or when you're meditating, like I can't describe this, like, I'm sorry. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, we're back. So I was like rearranging myself in my chair and I bumped the camera. We're good though. But it's like some of you may get a little bit too like what's the word? Sorry, I was fixing the camera and I didn't give myself a chance to think about clarifying this energy. That could have helped things so that we can move on quicker. But it's like this energy of like feeling that, yeah, very like legalistic, you know, instead of flowing with the energy and allowing it to be a little bit messy and chaotic and like, I don't know why this is happening, but it feels right, so we're going to go with it type of a thing. Like that energy more times than not is needed when you're exploring and growing spiritually, because you're encountering a lot of energies, a lot of ideas that you've never even thought of before. And so a lot of it, you know, you can play tricks with yourself where you're like, did I really imagine that? Or did I really think that? Or is this really happening? I don't know. Versus allowing yourself to have fun with it, you know, instead of also getting legalistic with it of like, you know, I have to write down exactly like, you know, this type of like spell or this type of like intention word for word, instead of letting it flow from your heart in the moment. Like I have to write down this spell and this intention, you know, a whole, you know, paragraph, and I have to have it memorized before I even start this, you know, versus it could be done in 2 minutes with the same amount of energy and intention because it's coming authentically from the heart space and you're just letting the words flow in the moment. So it's those types of things where it's getting less legalistic, less serious, less creating a box for yourself. I feel like for some of you, it's like you feel like, you know, everything has to be like ordered and structured and orderly in this little box. And that's the only way that I can evolve and that I can grow spiritually, or that I can be taken seriously, you know, or that I can take myself seriously for that matter. But it's like they're showing me, the fire element is showing me here too. No, you need to flow more with this. Take yourself less seriously. Don't allow yourself to be caught up in the details or the little kind of like nitty gritties of everything, but instead allow yourself to, like I said, yeah, to open your energy up and to be less like stringent with yourself, less strict with yourself, and allow yourself to play a little bit more. Bring that inner child in a little bit more. Kind of like what I was telling Pile 2, but this is different in terms of you're using this to aid like your psychic abilities, you know what I mean? Like your clairvoyance or your channeling abilities or your clairaudience, or learning different types of divination or meditations or journeyings. So this is all going to be super helpful for you guys. I know it was really helpful for me when I was learning to be like, okay, I can just have fun with this. I don't have to take myself so seriously, and I can allow myself to flow and have it be like a fun, you know, exploring time instead of being upset with myself that I'm not getting it all correctly the first time and as I should be. And, you know, it's raising our energy, it's raising our vibrations so that we have fun with the process instead of, you know, kind of feeling that we're failing at the process. I think so many of us are conditioned by schooling, like schools, you know, when we're in grade school and high school, we get grades, A, B, C, D, F, right? I never understood why they skipped E unless they wanted F for fail. I don't know. But anyway, so we're taught to be able to turn in assignments, and we're taught that, you know, if we get a good grade, then we've done well on the assignment. If we get a bad grade, then we've done terrible at the assignment. And we tend to carry that all or nothing, extreme, like polarity type of thinking to the real world. And suddenly we're treating something that's magical and mystical and fun, like growing our spiritual abilities, and putting it in this box and being like, you know, like it's too much for me, you know, like this is, you know, like school all over again. And suddenly we take the joy and the fun out of it. And for some of you, it's like you guys are very adept spiritual people, spiritualists, I guess you would call it. But for some of you, it's like you've lost that like spark. You've lost that spark in your spiritual work, and it's the fire element wants to help you recall that spark back. Haha, no pun intended. The fire element wants to reignite. Yeah, no pun intended there either. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. They're coming through with some good ones, some good zingers. But the fire element wants to help like keep going, relight that flame within you. when you first started your spiritual journey and everything was bright and shiny and new and wonderful and so much wonder and magic, it's like you've lost a little bit of that along the way, and you're becoming very legalistic about this and very much like, okay, put one foot in front of the other. Like, I have to do, this now, and I got to do that now. And it's a responsibility all of a sudden versus allowing it to be a playful, imaginative time that you can have this experience with your higher self and your inner child and explore a little bit and be like, okay, let's see what we can explore and uncover today. You know what I mean? Do you guys remember when we were kids and you would always, in the backyard or whatever, or somewhere, it's like you pretended like you were digging for dinosaur bones and you were an archaeologist uncovering the many mysteries of the earth, right? And we would find rocks and I don't even know, sticks and whatever, and we treated those like our greatest treasures. And it was so much fun to be able to pretend that we were uncovering these great magical, mystical entities from the earth, and they were these dinosaur bones and artifacts, right? And it's like, that's what you need to get back to, is this inner child, like, wonder. There may be another pile in here for you as well, but getting back to that inner wonder of being less legalistic, less like by the book, less 1 + 2 + 3 +, you know what I mean? Instead, flowing and going out of order and being a little bit chaotic with it, but allowing that messy, like, magic element to appear back in your spiritual journey. That's really going to help you guys a lot here. Okay. Yeah. You guys may want to work on some alchemy. That's coming through. Do you see how with the angel, she has the cup of water and it's turning into the cup of wine? She has the wine over here. Oh my gosh, I can't. The wine and then the water over there. So alchemy may be a specific area that you want to try or learn more about specifically. The Merlins, powerful druids, but I think they were also very adept at alchemy too. Like, they were super knowledgeable, super wise guys about all things alchemy. So that's a message. That's a message coming through for quite a few of you. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, alchemy as well with the fire element, that would make sense, right? Because we have the violet flame. That's the flame of transformation, transmutation. It's the violet flame comes from the violet ray, which is what my channel is based on. And the violet ray is all about co-creation, the magician, manifestation, alchemy, right? Transformation, all of the above. So alchemy, fire, that's a clear direction that the Merlins and the dragons are wanting you to go into, and with them in tow. They're saying, with us in tow, if you don't mind. So then we also have the courageous peony, multifaceted, unique nature. Let yourself be seen. Beautiful. Okay. And let's see here. Whoop, there we go. Thank you. We also have, what do we have? Star Brothers. Interesting. Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, and trust. Horus is coming through to work with you guys too. So the dragons, Horus, and the Merlins. Man, you guys got some powerful spiritual people coming in here. Like, excuse me, coming through. Yeah, and it's funny because the dragons, the Merlins, and Horus, it's 3 of them. They form a triangle around you with you in the center. That's what I'm seeing. And it's like they're putting their energy at an angle towards you in the center so that there's 3 lines of light coming in to you. And it's like they're allowing you to have a lot of spiritual upgrades through that. So you might want to do a couple of meditations where you're picturing Horus, the Merlins, and the dragons with their energy in towards you, and then you illuminated in light in this triangle of energy. That's going to be a powerful meditation, and then you will receive a lot of upgrades, I'm hearing, as a like blessing, I guess, coming out of that meditation. And that's something too that a lot of people don't recognize, because I struggle with meditation myself. And I'm hearing that some of you guys do too. With meditation, I always feel like, I don't have time for it, or, whenever I do it, I always feel so super great when I come out of it. But what they're saying too is it's like when we meditate, it actually does change us on an energy level, on a spiritual level, on a cellular level, because we're projecting our consciousness into other dimensions. Even if we're not asleep, or even if we don't put ourselves in trance, we are powerful, powerful beings. And when we meditate consciously with intention about something, we project our consciousness into the astral, into another dimension. And so what happens is when we visualize these powerful masters and energies giving their energy toward us, and us then being illuminated by this energy, by this light, and receiving all of that beautiful energy, our body in the here and now receives that energy and responds to that. And our abilities grow, our sensitivities increase in a good way. And we receive a lot of healing through that as well. So those are really important reminders that they're wanting me to get across as well. The fire spirits, they want me to remind you guys of the importance of meditation. And some of you guys may be like, oh my gosh, meditation, when I close my eyes, like that's like not my thing. So then do some fire gazing. Do some trance, maybe do some water scrying as well. I know this isn't a fire element reading, but some sort of like, listening to music and gazing at the fire and allowing yourself to go into trance with your eyes open. That's a powerful form of meditation as well, where you can receive a lot of good upgrades that way too. Okay. We also have the Great Severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, and softening to love. Softening to love. I just heard crazy little thing called love. Crazy little thing called love. Who sings that? Dun, 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 dun. Freddie Mercury, Queen, yes, I think. This thing called love, I can't handle it. This thing called love, da da dum, ba da bum, get ready. Trust the timing. We also have trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. Yeah. Interesting. So I'm hearing too, with crazy little thing called love coming through also, it's like fall in love with life again. Fall in love with the process again. Don't focus on the results so much. Focus on who you're becoming through the process. That matters so much more than any type of external result that you could receive. Like, yeah, the results are fun and they matter because it shows that we're improving and there's progress. But if we focus on the results, that's what keeps us stuck sometimes in that lower energy of like, I have to do everything by the book or else I'm failing or it's not as good, and instead, if we kind of let all of that go and release that from our grip and we soften to this love, trusting the timing. Yeah, trusting the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. So for some of you too, you may be feeling like you're falling behind or you're not doing as much as you could be right now, or maybe you were able to do more spiritual work at the beginning, but lately it's like you've had other things that have kind of claimed your attention. Like I'm hearing for some of you it's families, for some of you it's health, for some of you it's just different changes that are coming into your life right now that's preventing you from being able to focus as much on your spiritual development. And you may be feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing enough, or I feel guilty because I'm not doing this. And there's this conflict within you, not so much anger, but I'm feeling like this resentment that you're feeling towards what's happening. And you're like, this is preventing me from being able to, be in my full spirit, being in my full self, from being able to, shine, the way that I shone, before. I can't be my beautiful self because this thing is preventing me from doing that. Instead, softening to love and understanding that, there's energy of needing to flow with whatever's happening to you right now, and honor the fact that yes, you may not be able to devote as much time to your spiritual practices as you used to be, but that doesn't mean that spirit isn't still working with you on a subconscious level. And whatever you're going through right now, it's going to provide like a kickstart for your future journey. So it's like almost right now, you were running and now you feel like you're going through the mud and you're kind of trudging through the mud and you're not going as quickly as you were before. But what's happening is as soon as you get out of the mud, it's like you're supercharged, and it's like you go from here, and what would have normally running taken you like to here, in a period of time. It's like you're supercharged now, and so you go to here. You know what I mean? You leapfrog over everybody else who you see around you as like running, and you guys may be actively plugged into a spiritual community. So maybe that's why this comparison is popping up here, or something to that effect. But I just feel you guys, feeling like I'm not doing as much as I was before, or there's this block and like feeling that you need to be super like strict with yourself about how you're approaching your spiritual development. But it's like, let that go. Let all of that go. Soften, trust what's happening, allow it to happen. And it's all for a greater purpose. Right? It's all for a greater purpose because it creates the masterpiece, the tapestry that is us as the finished result when we've come through all of our lessons. And those lessons are super important to create wisdom, right? That creates the wisdom within us. That creates the richness, the depth within us. If we don't go through the struggles, the challenges, the obstacles, the roadblocks, the hiccups, it doesn't make it fun. You know what I mean? It's like boring, So that's what they're coming through to say here is look at it as flowing with whatever's happening and honor it because it's creating your end result, your end story. Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. All right. My beautiful pile number 3s. Thank you so much for allowing me to tap into your energy. It has been such an honor. Do like and subscribe to see more videos like this. I love you guys so, so, so much. And I will see you in the next video and reading. All of the above.